Hello and welcome to this tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll take this basic simple scene and try and turn it into something that we enjoy looking at, and we'll also try and make it as realistic as possible along the way. So this here is what we'll be aiming for. We have our moonlit night with the light shining across the water, catching off the ripples. Now of course we have a leaf that we'll be texturing, and the water. So it's pretty challenging to try and make the water actually look like water, but it can be done, and hopefully we'll be able to do that in this tutorial. So back into our starter file, we have our layers. First layer is the leaf, second layer is the water, and the third layer is the lighting and camera, although there's only the camera in there so far. And we have our little viewport over here, which is reserved for the viewport rendering. Actually, we'll set it to rendered now. I like to have this little viewport here because it's not so hard on the computer, and I don't think it takes long to actually give you the result either. So that's what we have there. Right, so we'll add in a circle, scale it up a little bit, bring it up. So this will be one of our lights. Add a new material, change it to emission, and set the strength up to 5. And we'll of course make the colour probably a bluish colour like that. Okay, so we'll add in the other layers to our scene, and we have, you can see right there what it looks like, and we can continue working in this side, which is fantastic. Okay, so we'll start with our leaf. We want to UV unwrap it to begin with, so just split the window and go into the UV image editor. I'll cross this window out here, cross that picture out, or image. We'll go into edit mode with everything selected, press U, and we'll go into top view, like that. So U, project from view, like that. Just scale it up a bit, and we'll click on this button here, and we'll bring up our acer leaf. So it's this acer leaf is a it's a leaf that it doesn't have it's a PNG with an alpha value, so, or an alpha channel, so we can get rid of whatever part of the leaf that doesn't actually have a part of the texture on it. So we'll just scale it up a little bit more until it fits within the leaf picture fits within our mesh. So so that looks pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe scale it up a little bit more. Move it up on the y-axis like that. Okay, looks decent. Yep, looks good. Okay, so that's our leaf unwrapped, and we'll add a new material. So now we'll go into the split the window, and we'll go into the node editor. So we have it right here. We'll move our diffuse over. Now we want to add in, because we've just UV unwrapped it, we'll go to input text, and we'll add in a texture coordinate node, and we'll add in go down texture and add in our image node. So of course in this texture coordinate you have UV, so of course it's going to unwrap, make sure this picture is unwrapped using the UV coordinates, and we'll just plug it into the diffuse color, and of course it turns pink. So we need to add in a picture, so we just select that one, and you can see it has a black outline, a black edge. So we can get rid of that by first adding in shader, mix shader. Just put that in there, and we'll also add in a transparent shader, which we'll put below. We'll put below the diffuse shader. Plug it, take the output of the transparent and put it into the top input shader of the mix shader, and it will automatically put the diffuse to the bottom, and it makes everything go transparent. And then we'll take the alpha output from the image texture and put it into the factor of the mix shader. and we get rid of that black outline. So it looks pretty cool. Alright, so next thing to do is duplicate this mix shader, plug it into, or just put it on that line, so just plug it in there. Yeah, okay, and we'll add in a glossy shader, just put it in the bottom there. Alright, so take the output and plug it into the input of the mix shader, and you can see it's quite glossy, but we don't want it that glossy, so we'll change it to 0.02, so it almost completely gets rid of the glossiness but not quite, so we're left with a pretty good amount of glossiness. Although if we try changing it from Beckman to, say, sharp, see what that does. Alright, I quite like that. Yep, so change it to sharp, and the last thing to do for this text, the material for this leaf, is to add in a translucent shader. Just put it up there, and we'll duplicate this mix shader over here, put it in there, and we'll plug this translucent into the bottom one, and we'll take the color output from this image texture and put it into the translucent color, and there you have it like that. So it's not really making much difference. If we set the wrong way, if we take this down, the factor down, so the lower it is, the lighter it will, the leaf will get, because the light is shining through the leaf and lighting it up. So we'll just set it to 0.1. Right, so it looks quite nice now. Cool. Right, onto the water. So the water, of course, doesn't have a material, so we'll add a new one. And we'll take this diffuse and just put it up here. Because yeah, well, I know the water actually, of course, is completely transparent in the real world, but I found the diffuse actually helps it. Yeah, it just helps it look realistic and in Blender. So we'll add in a glossy shader. Put that in there. Put that down there. Yep. Okay. I just realised it's not the glossy shader I want right now. It's a glass shader. So put that there as well. Just move these things around. Alright. We'll add in another mix shader. Put that just there. Plug that into there. And you can see the material is changing a little bit, but not really how we want it at the moment. Standard IOR for water is 1.3, so we'll change it to that. And yeah, we'll change the factor to 0.95. We'll try that. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Alright, we'll leave it at that. Alright, so we have our glossy shader, which we want to plug in. So we'll duplicate the mix shader, put it down there, further down, and we'll plug our glossy into it. Actually, we want to use two glossy shaders, so we'll duplicate this mix shader again, put it down there, and then we'll plug it in to the bottom input of the mix shader, the other one. Yeah. So we'll take this glossy and put it into the top input of the mix shader, and you can see it's lighting up a little bit. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. We'll duplicate this glossy again, and we'll plug that into the bottom input, and we'll change the type from Beckman to sharp, just to give us that sharp reflections. So obviously you can see now that they're, oh wait, we want to change this to 0.5. There we go. And change this to 0.5. There we go. Yeah, and you can see now it doesn't exactly look like this with quite a lot of reflections. So obviously the lighting is not how we want it. So we'll take this little lamp, scale it up quite a bit, probably move it up a bit. Yeah, okay. So we'll put it about there, maybe scale it up a little bit more. Go into top view, we'll duplicate it and move it over here somewhere, diagonals away from the camera. And you can see it's causing a reflection along there, but we don't want it on that side because it's coming here to the center and then coming this direction, which is kind of strange, so we want to put it more on that angle. Just looks a bit better. Okay, cool. And we'll duplicate this lamp again. I'll scale it along the x-axis in, like that. Just make it quite skinny. So we'll scale it up. Scale it in x-axis again. Rotate it. Maybe scale it up a bit. And it just strengthens the light over there. So it's a bit of a strange setup, but it works. Actually, we want to just so we can see the light past the we can figure out we can see which is the light and which is water. We'll go down to settings in the material panel, and viewport color, we'll change it to blue, like that. There we go. Actually, we'll change it to yellow since lighting, it's usually just yellow anyway, even though this is blue. And if we want, you can change the viewport color of the water to blue. There we go. Alright. So you can see what is what now. Like that. Cool. Alright. Bring it below. Like that. So we're just adjusting the light, the lighting, trying to give it the effect that we want. So something like that is pretty cool. Scale it up a bit, maybe. Move it around. Like that. No, bring it in close to the leaf. Something like that. We'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that anyway. Yeah, okay. Yep. Just leave it like that. So we want to make our water bluish. So we'll take the diffuse and just make it bluish. Something like that. Maybe one of the glossy shaders. We'll try for the Beckman one. Make that blue. Oh yeah, it's better. Okay. Cool. Actually, we'll want to set the roughness down to 0.1. Whoops. 0.1. That looks pretty good. So that's the sharp glossy. Just want to maybe adjust this a little bit more. What else if we put it over there? Hey, that's actually quite nice. Okay, we'll put it there. That looks good. I like that. Yeah. Alright, cool. So, actually though, if we look at this, the leaf isn't looking so great. So maybe if we bring this in, lights the leaf up a bit better. Just kind of, yeah, okay, so, yeah. Alright, looks okay. We obviously want to lower the amount of gloss on the leaf. Maybe change it from sharp back to Beckman. Or maybe GGX. Yeah. Okay, so change it to 0.01. That looks pretty good. Okay. So maybe if we try putting this a little bit further over, just maybe light the leaf up a bit more. Because I think, yeah, that looks a bit better. We could even try scaling this up, just to increase the size of the reflections up here. That looks quite nice, but it doesn't really look like so much like the moon's shining there anymore. So we'll maybe just scale that down again. Yeah, that looks nice. Cool. Alright, so I think the water might do a little bit more adjusting. Let's try this one. The mix shader, let's try 0.35. See what happens there. I think maybe there's a little bit too much lighting everything up. Yeah. Alright, so let's try putting the glass into the top shader. No. Actually, because that's an idea. Let's try darkening this up a bit. Not sure what that's going to do. Oh, oops. If we make it white again, we'll try and make this 0.05. So 0.05, which is pretty much the opposite end of the scale. Ah, that's looking better. Alright. So that looks good. We could maybe bring this up. Alright, yeah, so this basically it's just adjusting, doing a lot of adjustments. So since it's supposed to be nighttime, we don't want it to be all lit up. We want it quite dark where the moon's not shining. So maybe move that back. Just put it around a couple of different areas. Just see what looks best. That doesn't though. It looks okay. What we could do is we could actually maybe rotate it. So maybe that light. Okay, that doesn't really do anything. So I'll just, yes, I'll get rid of that. I will undo that. Right, so let's see what we can do in the compositor. So if we just press Control left arrow, oh, it doesn't look like a compositor at all. Oh, okay. Funny thing, we're already in the compositor. All right. Oops. Okay. Well, in this this node editor here, we'll change it from materials to the compositor. So we have our compositor here. If we select the render layers and press Shift Control left click, I think. Hang on. Okay. Shift Control and then click on the render layers and it brings up the viewer node, so that's good. And we just want to render it, so we'll go into the render panel. We'll change our sampling. Okay, it's already up at 200. You can change that to whatever you like. I'm just going to leave it at 200. Or because it's actually a test render, we'll just put it down to 100. Like that. Other than that, that looks okay. So I'll just hit render and see what it looks like. So I'll just pause the recording while it's rendering. Okay, so after almost 10 minutes of rendering, this is what we have. I'm just going to put that back into solid. Okay. Yeah, you can see it's kind of grainy. I find around about 300 samples can make it look a bit clearer, quite a bit clearer. So we'll see what our compositing can do. First, I think I'd like to add in a Rgb Curves node, just to adjust the colour, see if we can make it a bit more appealing. So maybe darken the things up a bit. That could be quite nice. Actually, we might want to change the how glossy the leaf is. It's taken away some of the detail, so we're just got to remember to do that. I suppose we add a little bit of red colour. Make the leaf a little bit more. Just make the leaf stand out a bit more. Yeah, it looks quite nice. And I think we'll want to add a bit more blue. yeah, that looks quite nice. Cool. Now, oops. Okay, so V to zoom out. I could add in a vignette, but because the way the scene works, there's already almost a vignette effect to it, so it's probably not much point doing that. Alright, we'll play around with a couple of things. Maybe bring, put that up there. Okay, so it darkens it up. Oh yeah, looks quite nice. So we'll put the another part of the curve over into that intersection of those lines there, and that looks pretty good. Alright, so the water still doesn't really convince me, so I think it just needs to be a lot darker since it's supposed to be nighttime, so we'll go back and do that. Right, so of course press Control right arrow to go back into the from compositing into the default view, or thing, whatever you could like to call it. Right, so with this leaf we want to put another, we want to put the, make that node editor. We want to get rid of some of that glossiness. Oh, might want to set that back to rendered again. Right, zoom in there. Yeah, so basically it's covering pretty much the whole leaf. So I think the sharp was probably the better one to do. Yeah. There we go. So it's only on certain areas, and that looks much better. 0.01. I'm not sure if we can go any smaller than that. 0.005. Just that tiny bit of glossiness. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. Alright, for the translucence, might see if we can make it a bit brighter, so 0.05. Oh, that should be alright. Yeah, okay. So we'll adjust the water again. See if we can get this looking better. Or maybe it's actually maybe it's not the water. Maybe it's the light. If we maybe scale this long lamp up down, makes everything a bit darker, which looks good. So put that down as well. Yeah, so it's looking better. Maybe scale it up again. A little bit more. Yeah, so really it's just trying to adjust it and make it look how we want it to. Maybe bring that down. Yeah, that makes everything look a lot darker. Bring it down a bit more. Okay, so maybe if we bring these down a bit. That's not too bad. A bit further. Mostly I'm looking at this side, at this ripple here. It looks, was looking pretty unrealistic. Actually it looks pretty good now. So we'll give that another render and see what it looks like. So just close that there. Now we'll just give it hit render, and I'll just pause the recording again while we wait for it to render. Okay, so there are a few things I'm not really happy with. The leaf looks really good. It looks nice and realistic, but the water, like over here, you have these strange, sharp white spots, or bluishy white spots in the middle of nothing. So that looks pretty strange. The water over here looks really good. It's just, I think there's still too much light, and it looks maybe too much reflection in here, so we'll just quickly fix that up. Go back into the, Oh, we're in the node editor. Alright, so basically, because I've got the silly screen capture software in the way, I can't actually grab the change it to the viewport, so I have to do things a little bit differently. Got that. Okay, there we go. Cool. So we have this. Maybe if we bring this one this lamp down, might cut out some of that strange reflections. Also, I think we should scale it down. Yeah, that's looking better. Alright, cool, looking much better. Maybe scale this one down a bit too. If we go into top view and just put it over a bit further. Maybe move this back a bit too. Actually, I think that looks really nice. Alright, cool. So, we'll give that one more render, but I think this should just about do it. I'll change it to 200 samples, just to make it a lot clearer. And yeah, so we'll just hit render and see what happens. Alright, so this looks very nice. Of course you still have even more of those annoying little spots over there, but a bit more adjusting of the lights, of the lighting, and it should be should be gone hopefully. But of course there'll be I don't need to fix that up at the moment. It looks pretty good. But yeah, so I think I'll call this tutorial done. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you didn't find it too annoying with all my ums and ands. So so hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching.